Your ideas are paralyzing you. They are keeping you stuck. You need to do something about it. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, your favorite artist, Lil Picasso, coming to you with another video. So today's video is a little different. It's more like a sit down Bible study chat. Today we're gonna talk about idea paralysis. And like, I know y'all probably like, what is that? Like, you definitely just made up that word. Like, what are you talking about? So idea paralysis, my definition of it, if it is a word that's out there, is having so many ideas that you don't know which one to act on. And as a result, you're left stuck and you're not moving, you're not creating, you're not doing nothing because you're stuck. You're confused. You don't know what to do. So yeah, I'm gonna need y'all to grab your Bibles. I got mine. You feel me? I was upside down. We're gonna be in Genesis 1 with it. And I'm basically gonna break down, how an idea comes, right? And what we are to do with it, when it comes about. And for the million ideas that we have, like what to do about those and get unstuck, right? From a biblical perspective. So this idea of idea paralysis actually came to me while I was like driving home from dropping somebody off. It was at nighttime. And the word just kept floating in my brain. And I was like, yo, what the freak is idea paralysis? And I knew it was from God because like, I ain't never really thought about it. But when the definition started coming to mind, or like my own definition of it, it made sense. It was in a way like giving language, like official language, to something that I believe that all creatives deal with. By the way, if y'all see me looking down, it's because I'm using my computer. This is where all my notes are for the video. So yeah, so I don't be like rambling. So before I, go into Bible, right? For the people out there who do get like millions and millions of ideas like every single day of their lives, and they don't know what to do with them, and they feel stuck because they want to tackle everything, and it just seems like there's not enough time in the world to do and really act on those things, right? I just want y'all to like know that first of all, you're not alone. Your girl goes through that all the time. Still going through it as we speak. And all of those ideas, right? They come from God, right? Because God himself is the most creative being to ever like grace this planet. And you feel me? He, with Genesis 1, you know, is the blueprint for how a creative should operate, right? All those ideas you get in, they're from God. He's downloading all of those things within you. Genesis 1, the account of creation. And I'm going to put it somewhere on the screen so y'all can read along. It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and empty, and darkness covered the deep waters. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the waters. Then God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw that the light was good. Then he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness night. And evening passed, and morning came, marking the first day. Genesis means like the beginning. I'm pretty sure that's what it means. Like, don't quote me on that. I might have to Google that afterwards. The first thing that God tells us about himself is that he's creative. So us being made in the image of God, we're also creative beings. We're going to talk about three things, right? Three major things that have to do with our ideas and how we are to approach them. The first one is wisdom. Wisdom, I believe, is applied knowledge and understanding. With wisdom, right, we obtain like this perspective, this grander perspective from what we normally think about things. In order to fully grasp that, right, we have to get knowledge and gain an understanding of that knowledge to be able to fully grasp the big picture, right? The wisdom. God is, just chilling up in the sky, where he at, or wherever he was, on earth, wherever he was, child. And he, was like, dang, like, it's kind of empty out here. Like, there's a whole bunch of other planets and a whole bunch of other stuff going on. And, he had this big picture, right? Wisdom. This big picture of, what the earth would be like and what he would do about, filling it up and all the things. Right? Earth, served as this container, right? When you think about a container, like a plastic container or a glass, whatever, it's empty, right? There's no use for it until like some food needs to be stored in it and fill up that emptiness, right? Same thing with the earth. The earth was formless. It was formless. It was darkness. There was nothing going on. It was empty. There was nothing going on. Right? So it was, in a sense, useless until God was like, all right, let's start creating stuff. The first thing he created was light. He said, let there be light. God gives us like this big picture of what he wants us to do with our lives, right? Specific to the gifts that he's given us. God saw that there was a lack, right? And he essentially filled it up. He started filling it up with stuff. We ought to use that same like method in a sense with our ideas, right? When we get ideas, it's usually because there's a lack in a specific area in the world. And our ideas are usually the solutions to those places of lack or problems until we act on our ideas to fulfill those places of lack and problems and stuff like that, right? There's no kind of usefulness, right, until our ideas fill it up and solve those problems and address certain things. That's what God was doing, right? He had wisdom, this big picture of this really grand and special earth, and he turns this formless earth into something with increments and different things that he added throughout the different days of creation. So the second thing is understanding. We have to have an understanding, to repeat the word, that the ideas that we get in our minds are indeed from God, and that idea is what God is calling you to do. According to Matthew 13:19, right? It says that when anyone hears the wisdom of God and doesn't understand it, then Satan comes to take away that wisdom and ultimately distracts with everything opposite to what you're supposed to be doing. You'll be confused and you're not going to feel secure enough to really move with what God is telling you to do and what God has downloaded within you. So, really making sure that, okay, this is an idea that I'm supposed to be moving on. Because if you don't, and you don't go to God and you ask him, then something is bound to just like grab your attention. Something else is going to distract you. And that idea is kind of just going to be up in the air floating, and it's not going to be something solid and concrete. We got to make sure that we have a complete understanding and a complete knowing that, the ideas that we get are indeed from God, and that he for sure wants you to act on that idea. When our ideas come to our minds, right, we are to really like move with faith that our ideas are sufficient, that they are enough. They carry weight and are solutions to problems and are ways to, make the world better. God moved like that, right? God had faith in this grand vision of, what he wanted the earth to be like. And that's often where we get stuck. The idea comes to mind, we're all excited, but that's kind of where we get stuck, right? And we kind of like have all these preconceived notions and doubts, these negative preconceived notions, right? And doubts. And we don't have enough faith to act on those ideas. God wasn't like that, child. Every time he created something, he said, evening passed, morning came, and it was good. It was fine. You feel me? This is good enough. Mind you, this is God we're talking about. He could have been like, it was great. This is magnificent. Everything I'm doing like eats it. You know what I mean? Like he could have said that. He said it was good. It was good enough. It was sufficient enough to fulfill the purpose that it needs to fulfill. First, the last thing we read was, he created light, right? The earth was lit up. It was good. He finished doing it and it was good. We have to have enough faith. Faith is super key. If you are a creator who is also a believer, or if you're not, right? You believing in your ideas, right? If you believe in your ideas and you move with this just confidence that, your idea is going to fulfill this really dope purpose, then it's going to do that. You feel me? As long as you really believe that and you move with it as well, right? Faith and works. The third thing is knowledge. The knowledge comes with skills and talents and gifts that we are given from jump. We're supposed to use those to serve this bigger picture, aka our purpose for living and connecting with others and stuff like that, and use that to contribute to the big picture, aka wisdom. So when God was creating the earth, right, he incorporated specific details that served specific purposes for the earth. With the light, it was dark. There was nothing to illuminate or even show the fact that the earth was alive. Like, you feel me? He created light. On the other days, he created like the seas and dry land to and separating the two, and what else? And like fish and trees and vegetation and all of that stuff. He created those things with specific intentions, right? And he knew that those things would serve their purpose in just filling up the earth, right? Filling up the earth and you know accomplishing this big picture, right, that he had at the beginning. So to apply that to us in present times, right, with our ideas, we know that there are specific steps to really accomplishing the ideas that come to mind. For me, for an example, I'm a painter and, I get ideas for, really cool paintings. And, with each project requires something different, right? Different materials, different sizes, scaling, um, just different, you know, amount of time, allotted with, each project. So, those details, right? Those specific things um, that eventually lead to the finished product of said painting. So, I got to use those specific details to be able to, incorporate into my bigger picture or my project, so that it could be done effectively. God does that same thing. God didn't just create certain specific things like on the fly just because he felt like it. It's because he knew those different things were going to serve different purposes and would be useful and would have the earth, running effectively. Wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, they're all intertwined within each other. Now I'm going to get into some practical tips as to, just the a million and one ideas that come to mind and what to do about it. Different ideas and stuff that we have, not all of them are meant to come to fruition at the same time. You really think about it, right? If all of the ideas that we had that were coming to us at the same time, were brought to fruition and they were put out into the world for people to consume and to, have in their lives or whatever, it would be such an overstimulating experience. Too much coming at people, right? So with those ideas, right, not all of them are supposed to happen at once. They're all supposed to happen in their own season, their own timing, right? Divine timing. And to give you more Bible on that, right, is Ecclesiastes 3. It says that there is a appointed time for everything, right? It's a time to be born, it's a time to die. It's a time to plant, it's a time to harvest. It's a time to cry, it's a time to be joyful. They're not all supposed to happen at the same time. They have their own appointed time. And you got to respect that. And, just know that so that you're not just throwing stuff out there just because, just because you're getting all these deposits of ideas and stuff like that. No, they're all supposed to happen in their own appointed time. So don't put that pressure on yourself to be like, okay, I gotta get it all out there. All of it does have to come out, but just not at the same time. If you look at like the 4 seasons, right? We got winter, spring, summer, and fall. All of those seasons don't happen at the same time. Imagine if they were. You know how confused humanity would be? Just be so overstimulating if all those 4 seasons coexisted at the same time. And thank God they don't. It's a season for, the leaves to be all colorful, and it's a season to be like super cold, right? Other seasons to be like raining a lot, the springtime, and other seasons for like the sun to be shining and scorching and burning everybody. If it was sunny and cold and snowing and raining and all the time, bro, you know how much like that would be crazy. You know how crazy that would be? Just imagine that and connect that to all the ideas that you get and all the ideas that you're trying to have coexist at the same time. Like, let's not overstimulate people. Let's not be overstimulated. Let's not overstimulate the people that we're going to serve with our ideas. The next tip is to ask God what it is that you're supposed to be zeroing in on. Like I was saying before, you can't really be focusing on a whole lot. It's got to be something that's a start and a finish. And I'm saying that, and I struggle with that. You feel me? And that'll be the next tip. But really asking God, what is it that I should be working on? What is it that I should be focusing on? He's the ultimate creator. Like, why would you not go to him? He's the one that got the best ideas. He's the one that's giving you these ideas. So it's only wise, to go to him and ask him, okay, is this what I should be doing? Is this what you want me to work on? What should I be working on in the first place? Ask away, okay? He wants that from you. Another tip with like getting unstuck from this paralysis of ideas is to finish what you start. This requires a entirely separate video because I could talk about that for days. I really do believe that, when you start things and you don't finish them, then for like the newer ideas that come to mind, there's not enough space for them, for that and what you're currently doing to coexist. Versus when you do start things and you do finish them, right? You make room for the new idea. And what you're currently doing and the new, it's not clashing, and your mind is not bouncing in like a million different directions and stuff like that. And you're sane. So finish what you start. The next tip is to make a mental filing cabinet system. With our ideas, they tend to kind of just be floating in our brains and not really have anywhere to be stored or sit down. Filing systems, is folders for specific things, right? Expenses and, quarterly, graphs and pie charts and all that stuff. Why not use that same concept and, for all the ideas that we get, kind of create this like mental filing system and kind of store them there and be able to like withdraw in a sense from those folders and be able to have something to go to and take our ideas out and utilize them. With that being said, I hope that everything I said resonated and provided you a better understanding of how to navigate all of your ideas and to be delivered from this paralysis. Y'all know, like sleep paralysis, like that's a whole nother thing. But idea paralysis, that's real too. Because if you don't know how you move in with your ideas, if you don't know what to do, which ones to act on, you're going to be stuck in the same place for a really long time. I hope this was helpful. You feel me? Comment down below any like additional comments, anything that you wanted to add to what I said. You feel me? If anything I said was a little off base, I'm open to that criticism as well. Constructive not just hating, constructive. Thank you. Feel me? Like, comment, and subscribe. You feel me? Follow your girl on the socials. Yeah, y'all, like, stay creative. You know what I mean? Stay prayed up, about our creativity and just, other matters of the world. I'm gonna see you on the next one.